Okay, we're just continuing to practice some examples. So, same directions. We're still working with find the slope of the tangent line for part A, and for part B, find the equation of the tangent line of the given point. So on 5, our new function is 6 times the square root of x, and we want to find the equation at the point 1, 2. Okay, so we write our definition down. We want to evaluate our function at a plus h. So we plug in a plus h right there. And then we subtract out our function evaluated at a, which would just be 6 square root of a over h. Okay. Okay, at this point, if we plugged in a 0, we would just get 0 here, 0 here, which would be 6 square root of a minus 6 square root of 8. We would get 0 over 0, so we know we're going to have to do something. We'll think back to previous lessons, and what's something you think we could do here? We need to rationalize this. We can multiply it by 6 square root of a plus h plus 6 square root of a. Okay, whatever you do in the numerator, you need to do in the denominator as well. So 6 square root of a plus h. So let's just denote that we're going to multiply there. So FOIL out the top. So FOIL this out, this term, and simplify the bottom. Let's just leave this bottom portion simplify. We're just going to have h and then the parenthesis there. So work on this top part. So square root of 6ah times 6ch, 6 square root of a plus h, that's a tongue twister there, would be 6 square root of a plus h squared. What happens to the inside terms when you have one that's positive and one that's negative? They're gonna cancel out, so you'll lose that. So we'll have the outside terms, which would be a negative times a positive is going to be a negative, and then we'll have this term times this term, which is itself. So we'll have 6 square root of a squared. Our denominator, we said we're just going to leave it, show a multiplication, leave it like it was. So 6h times 6 square root of a plus h plus 6 square root of a. Of course, we're going to take the limit of that function as h approaches 0. For this next step, what is 6 squared? 36. And what is the square of a square root? Just that good. So that's going to simplify to 36 a plus h. Okay, and then over here, similarly, 6 squared is just going to be 36, and then the square of a square root is just going to give us a. Let's bring our denominator down. And what can we do in the numerator algebraically? Let's just FOIL that out. Let's just go ahead and simplify everything in the numerator and see if anything cancels. Okay, then we can see that this is going to cancel, and also we can see that an h is going to cancel. This will be my only term that's left in the numerator, 36h, and we can see that an h is going to simplify out of each of those. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify that. So we'll have limit of, what's that leave us, 36 in the numerator, and then this in our denominator. So we want to take the limit as h approaches 0. The limit of that function as h approaches 0. So let's go ahead and calculate that now. Okay, so that's just going to leave me with a 36 in the numerator. And if this is 0, that's just going to give me 6 square root of a plus 6 square root of a. Well, what's that simplify to? 12 square root of a. Okay, what about this though? This simplifies to just 3 over the square root of a. So this is going to be our slope. Okay, let's move forward to part B. And first of all, we take our slope, 3 over the square root of a. And what was the point that was given on this one? Let's go back up to the top. 1, 2. So our point is 1, 2. What do we plug in for a? 1. So 3 over the square root of 1. It's just going to be 3 over 1, which is just 3. So our slope is 3, and our point is this. Go ahead and find the equation. Okay, so we get y equals 3x minus 1 to be the slope of the tangent line at the point 1, 2. Okay, so we have a little bit of a different example this time. Y equals x cubed. We want to sketch the graph with the particular x coordinates that they give us. And then this time we want to find the point. They tell us the slope, and we want to find the point at which the slope of the tangent line is 9. Okay, just a rough sketch. We made a little table, -2, we got -8, -2, 8 here, -2, -8 here, -1, -1, 1, 1, 2, 8. Find the point in which the slope of the tangent line. Okay, so now we move to part B. Let's use our slope formula with our given function to find our slope first. So we have our definition. Write that down. But we did this one already. Let's split back and see what we got. It was this problem, and we got our slope to be 3a squared. So we're not going to redo that. Our slope of y equals our f of x equals x cubed function was just going to be this. Okay, with this information known, last time we knew the point, and we could plug in the a value and find our f of a. This time, they gave us the slope value, so we know that our m is going to be 9. So this time we're looking for a this time. So we know m is 9 because they told us right here the slope is 9. So we solve that, divide both sides by 3. How do we solve for a? Take the square root, right? So you're going to get plus or minus the square root of 3 is equal to our a value. Keep in mind that we're looking for the point a comma f evaluated at a comma f of a. So we know a. How do we find f of a? So we know our a value, and we want to plug that back into our original function to get f evaluated at a. Let's do it first time with the positive square root of 3, and then we'll do it the second time with the negative square root of 3. So if I put a positive square root of 3 in right there, that would just give me square root of 3 cubed, which is going to be what? Okay, so we look at it. Square root of 3 times the square root of 3. This is just 3. Whoops, 3. And then we have that square root of 3 left. So that's just going to be 3 square root of 3. Now what if we evaluate it at the negative square root of 3? What does that give us? Negative 3 square root of 3. So the point, our point P is going to be plus or minus the square root of 3. And our y values we can write as plus or minus 3 square root of 3. So in the previous problems, they gave us the function and the point, and we found the tangent line. In this one, we first of all just sketched the graph. That was just some basic algebra. But part B, this time they asked us to find the points at which the slope of the line is 9. So at the point, these points here, it's going to be when the slope of our tangent line is going to be 9.